The story begins. We will be told that the son of a very big businessman of America is ill. The disease is such that even the doctors have failed to diagnose it. That is why when all the ways are closed, shams are called for the treatment of this child. That is, those people who can talk to the solution while living in this world. They can solve the problems of the people in this world related to them. In other words, their job is to meet, fight and control the things that do not work in this world. Now we meet Shivanharan, who along with her assistant is going to treat this child. Although the child's mom did not need all these things, whereas she had no other option left to save her son, there is some spiritual guide to check on this child every day, and it is known from them that whatever issue this child has is related to her grandfather or great-grandfather. To talk about this, she goes to the house of one of these parents where she learns that these people had completely shifted to America many years ago. The grandfather of this small child was paralyzed while his great-grandfather had died 100 years ago, and his grave is in Korea. Someone in the fire also tells that every elder child born in their family faces a similar issue. Like my elder brother, he also says this while eating when he is sick. But now my son is right in front of you. After listening to everything, every day she consoles Impact that everything will be fine, but they will need help from more people. The issue is a bit big. Poor Korea may have to suffer. They might get stuck somewhere. We meet at a camp in Korea where there was a fan shed sitting there. Their job was to connect with such a place for the dying people so that after having a chance of having fun, their souls can get peace. Wow, they should not have any problem. If the souls have any problem, they give trouble to their families. Just like an old lady was being taunted by her family members, but according to Kim, her problem was not a grave. Actually, a friend of that lady, her son, had hidden her teeth, because of which she was angry. The problem gets solved when the lady lies on the teeth. After which we see that we have come to meet Sale not in this graveyard, but under the cemetery. Arya told about the novel, who was a very rich person, but there is a very strange issue in his family. Every elder son born in his house remains ill, and all these problems are related to the land of Korea, because his grandfather is buried in Bihar, Korea. To solve this problem, valuable help was needed. And on hearing the name of Korea, Kim agrees. The next day, Kim also comes to the part of the symbol because he had to get his grandfather's Exhuma done. Exhuma means opening a grave and burying or shifting the person buried there to another grave. For this work, he needed all the information from the people, and he was doing this under the campaign Sunkila. Now he takes the king outside to his grand grave, which was built on top of the mountain. This was not a cemetery. There were many folks living around this grave, and this was not a good sign. Also, there was no nameplate on their graves. The text tells that his client had joiners, and this grave was allotted to them by the army. He was still unable to understand why this was the place because the place did not look like a dome. He understood that the problem was in this place, and he also discussed this matter with Haram. He tells Harim that there is a lot of evil here, a lot of devilishness, and I am able to sense these negative powers. Along with this, Kim also forbids Harim from working here. He was saying that if she does any work here, then her life can also be in danger. After hearing this, Harim paper becomes huge. Well, Arya, Kim and Par meet again at night, where Kim tells Shreya that their daughter is getting married soon. Hearing this, brother Kim gets motioned, and tells them that he has a son, and he is going to kill them. And his lovers had made both Haram and Kim emotional. So Haram decides that she will definitely help the father. And she tells them that we will leave after seeing the grave. We can perform a ritual there. A ritual that will distract many people. And then where was the discussion of you people done? Kim also liked it, and hence she also agreed to exhumation. The next day the exhumation work starts, in which the 8th generation of Park, because she was the daughter of the grandfather, the grave could not be taken without their signature and permission. Here, Arif had mixed all the ritual items, including 5 pigs as sacrifices for the 5 people who were to perform the grave. On the one hand, the work of digging the grave begins, and on the other hand, our even court asks to perform powerful rituals to distract the people. On the same day, many people were supporting her. She was playing with a knife on the holidays, while loudly singing a song, saying everyone drown a dance. While saying this, she also makes a cut on her mouth. Then she cuts the bodies of the pigs kept nearby to see their phone as well. This drunken ritual of hers continued till the bones of the grandfather were taken out. After removing the bones from the waist, A worker can clearly see human flesh inside his waist, which was a very wrong sign, and what is even more wrong is that he had killed the body without anyone knowing. As soon as he says this, the weather turns bad there. It was a grandpa who decided to burn them. His work also stops, although he wanted to do this work quickly, because they believe that the soul of grandpa is connected to the grave, and only after cremating it can someone reach it. Because Kim had seen a lot of negative things here, he went to the nearby village to gather information about the grandfather's grave. On reaching there, he found out that 7 people did not know anything about the grave of the grandfather of that village, and if a few people knew about it, then it was true that his grave was full of traps. I agreed for this. A man felt as if the grief of his grandfather had been excavated. He opens the coffin of his grandfather. As a result, the soul of the angry grandfather was set free, and this was the biggest and most dangerous incident IT was already seen from India. Now the hope is that she starts performing a ritual to control Grand Pakistan to save everyone from this danger, but Shahid is wasting it as Grand Pakistan has already gone to his home America where Park's family used to live. As soon as he reaches there, he kills his son and his wife. After which the trend-ridden spirit started to halt scare Park. Park was very scared at the time he gets a call from Kim. Kim was explaining to him on the phone, this Grand Pakistan society has become independent. He has also spoken to your parents, and if they let you out now, we must stay away from them. He was still talking on the phone. Suddenly, there is a knock on the door. On asking, it is revealed that Kim was there as well. Kim on the phone and Kim on the door. The Kim on the phone tells Pak that you should not open the door at all. It could be grandfather's soul. So he pays attention. I am coming to you soon, but yes, you can open the window. Because the ones who are talking do not open the noose, but by opening the window the soul comes inside from the cold. Meaning, all this was done by the soul of that same grandpa. Grandpa's soul had talked on the phone, and on the other side of the door was Kim. The real Kim, who was more in the role of saving the part and taking the keys from the doorman, i.e. the real children and hotel staff. Then he sees that the part had completely become possessed by the soul. The possessed Pakistani criminal tells the team that why he followed his own family. Actually, when the war started between America and the police, the criminal earned a lot of money by betraying his own people, and because of that money his whole family. She went and settled in America, but the status of the people, because of whom she became rich, changed. These people never came and asked about her, never came to her grace, nor did they love her. That is why she was so angry, but she did not consider him a farmer. She promised her life to the possessed Park. While dying he goes away saying to his part-time worker that some big man like me has taken out the bone of a fox. She did not understand the meaning of this at all. But now after killing Grand Pakistan Park, he had set out to kill his daughter and Park's son. There was only one way to stop them, that he should tell Haram to burn the Harrys of the crime park. But to burn Harry, the permission of the daughter of the crime park was needed. He immediately calls them and tells them that the soul of the crime park is going to kill a small child who has no fault, and to save his life we will have to burn the bones of a crime park instead of extradition. This should not be buried in any other news for which a grandfather's daughter dies, and the bones of the grandfather are burnt. It goes away. Just like that, heat or burning. Grandpa's soul is destroyed and all of them get freedom. But the story did not end with the soul of Grandpa. There is still a big twist in this story. After the soul of Crime Pack leaves, Camp meets a man who had done the work of digging up the news of Crime Pack. In his dreams, big humans and snakes were scaring him. The man tells the men that the snakes will scare him. The 3 men are asked since when all this has been happening. The man tells that since the time when I found a human head in the grave of Grandpa, and I killed him. Do you know the truth of the whole thing? We go to Grandfather's grave again. There he found the dead snake, which was male and probably female. Those who know book words, even the initial story is considered to be the first one. Without thinking anything, when he opens the cave more, he finds a standing coffin under it. On seeing it, he calls Har and all his companions here. They all were found. They took out the coffin, but till now these people were not able to understand why Grandfather was buried in this grave. This coffin was placed under the temple. This coffin was sealed from all sides. It was midnight, and people could not say anything about this coffin. That is why they decided to keep this coffin in a nearby temple. It could also be that there was some evil spirit in this coffin, and it might not come out She says achieve ritual here with hormone and rice, and after sealing the coffin they leave from there. After knowing the story of this whole story, we now go to grandfather's daughter and ask her why such a big coffin was placed under grandfather's grave. A friend answers and says how can he be a traitor? He is not even a count. He himself was Japanese. Silly. The confusion increases even more. Did chanting of Kuribi and this shloka defend him from this? In fact, we see his assistant who was giving some strange thing. He recites some mantras and tells us fear in the coppers, and goes to do the coffin treatment, where as soon as we go outside he sees a creature as long as 7 feet, and that man is eating a human being. Seeing them from this star, he says this to Haram Crow. It is revealed that Haram Crow was taking some lessons from his grandmother because his grandmother was a great semen collector of her time. Hearing her sister's voice, she starts to run away from here, but the grandmother holds her hand. As if they had seen a great tragedy. But still she got up and went outside, where her assistant was scared. Both of them together looked at the coffin, which was open, and it was Khan, that is, the 7-foot-tall man, or a lot that the army assistant had seen had come out of the AC coffin. Here in the coffin there was also a helmet which was of a Simurite or a winner. These people understand that whoever was in this shroud was definitely a Sirite, a soldier. In the meantime, the adjoint who must have come out of this coffin also comes outside this room. The ghost hides on seeing him, and the adjoint is convinced that there is a human in the ad room. The ghost answers no, and says that I am a slave of humans, and a tree spirit. Then he asks the ghost of the forest, do you have food of my choice? He apologizes and replies no, and this time the joiner knows that there is a human inside the robe. Before he attacks the staff, his staff comes and saves him, and also attacks the general with a knife, but this attack did not affect him in a way. The staff means that the general has turned into a very smart ghost, because now he catches the assistant and steps his hand on his stomach, and rips his body apart and throws it away. Before that, Kiran Kumar's son Kim and his assistant want to say this, and this time after seeing this post, both of them were very shocked because they had never seen anything like this before. There is a second entry, and after telling himself that the bounce is fixed, it means that the morning is about to come, and thinking this, he flies from here in the form of a big ball. For now, these people have understood that whatever this is, it is in full power at night, but cannot use many powers in the morning. It is revealed that it is not a ghost, but the affair was still going on with the RM assistant who was torn apart by the Bhumihar. He was not completely dead, so he was admitted to the hospital, and now they go to the same glebe where all this had started with Cha, because it was very important to close it and end this story. Here we meet people near us and find out something, but these people do not know anything in particular. These people want to stay at the house again. Cha does not seem to be there. It seems that the harem assistant has regained consciousness. He had a good eye for proclamation, and seeing this Haram, and Kim came to know that he was possessed, and that trainer had made him his slave, and in this way it is known that the fool of gender is protecting something here. What is this thing? Haram's assistant does not tell them. To find out all these things we go to grapes again. He wanted to know the answer to his questions by opening the grapes, that what is there in it due to which I had protected them here. 87 feet tall. The journal is very visible. Seeing this, they come to know that this ghost is seen anywhere at night, but remains here during the day. Of course, to make this promise of something about which they do not know. While standing here and watching EVM, they remember one thing. He had said that the fox has attacked the tiger's ear bone. Does the map of Korea look exactly like a tiger or not? So, tiger is done with Korea. Now it was seen that to finish Korea, many metal wards were buried in the ground, which according to Japanese ritual was a positive sign of Korea. By disturbing negative energy, Korea was destroyed. They came to know about any laws in Goyanzeri and started removing the endorsement. These people were called grave thieves by the Koreans, but now they do not take out a rod from the ground because the Japanese buried that rod in the body of their soldier. Through a ritual in which the body of a brave dead person is cut and a metal rod is placed in it, and many human organs are also used to complete this ritual. The body of the soldier was used for the entire process because the soldier was very brave. Even after a month, his soul would tell about the power of this rod. Now that Chanel, who had become a ghost and had that metal rod in his body, his coffin was kept in a medical store for the same reason that all the other rods that were to be installed in Korea were also kept in that store. Now no one could find that rod or the body of the journal. The rest of the body of the car was buried on top of it. Because that is also a journal, In simple words, when Korea and Chutney were going on between this, people also tried to defeat each other by using magic spells. By the time these people got to know about all the things, it was too late. Now it was night time, and it was time for the joint L inside which the metal rod was kept to get up. After so many years, he was able to free himself from his coffin only because of Kim. Kim wanted to stop him, but this ghost started possessing him. To save him, Kareem even throws blood on him, but he gets well after a little pain and then goes to Kareem to take it. But this time, Kareem asks him to protect his grand soul. Kim had seen the battle in the body of Michael, and according to the knowledge of their fancraft, Michael's enemy was the ghost of for General. Likewise, who was suffering, so without doing any business, he puts his blood on a stick and taps the journal with it, due to which the journal dies. The last rod which was put in the ground to destroy Korea, that rod also comes out, gets destroyed. Meaning, on one hand, he destroyed his biggest problem, this ghost, and on the other hand, he recognized Korea as well. As soon as the ghost dies, the hardened gas stove which was in his possession also comes out from there. All their missions were now complete. These people were now safe. Thinking this, the four of them reached there. At the end of the story, Kim's daughter's wedding is shown in Mega, where Kim seemed relaxed and she was made a team in the form of Kim and her assistants. This story would have ended here showing these four.